What's up, guys? This is Charlie with Chapter 1. In this video, we're just going to be reinforcing some sales training, sort of going over what you want it to look like, feel like, sound like. So starting off, whenever we generate a lead, it's very important, or whenever a lead is generated, it's very, very important that it's not something that you get to later. So what you don't want to do is open the phone. Oh, I got a lead. You want to immediately, hey, this is so-and-so, give them a call, and let them know, hey, my appointment setter says that you're interested or whatever, building the connection, instead of letting it dry out, and hopefully getting a hold of whoever you got in touch with. So if you get an appointment set across, call that number right away. Hopefully you're talking to the same person they talked to, right? If you're calling it the next day and then you're talking to someone else and they're like, hey, this person wasn't even here or whatever, they could be completely lying to you and just because they didn't have that last conversation. They don't know what you offer. To them, you might just be some type of salesman. So you want to try to engage with the person who understands, the situation, and maybe you are trying to sell something, but still you've made a connection with somebody and they've given you the option to show up, right? So essentially, you have to reach out, say, "Hey, yeah, I'm very interested in this." Don't let them turn dry. Otherwise, someone else could end up picking up that line, especially if it's a commercial property, and you're just might not get the same results. You really want to also understand that there's a lot of other people doing the same thing as you, right? And some important things to note when it comes to interacting with clients is you have to stick out. If you're going to just be somebody who's just going to say, hey, yeah, I'm here to do this. This is what I do. Do you need this? Okay, bye. No one's going to remember you. People aren't going to be inclined to engage with you and so forth. But if you're showing up and you're making a difference in you're sort of going above and beyond everyone else, even if it's in personality, there's three key things you want to keep in mind. You don't ever want to be greedy, you don't ever want to be needy, and you do want to be seedy. And just because I say don't be greedy doesn't mean you can't charge high. Charging high isn't necessarily what people think charging high. That's the average price. Most people think the low ball is the average price. No, that's the low ball price. And if you're partnered, you don't ever want to lowball. So it's always good to price something out to what you think is appropriate and add 15%. So that way you're never paying out of pocket for the partnership either. And in the long run, the quality proves itself, right? So if you're saying, yeah, no, I pay this much because my work is this good, and you prove yourself, people are going to be more inclined to contact you. But if you lowball it, then you yourself are going to be more inclined to cut corners and do less of a proper job. Maybe not, right? But if you're sitting there saying, oh, this person only gave me $75 for this, I'm not going to go out of my way to do all these couple extra things. I'm just going to get it fixed and get it out of there. You know what I mean? Those clients are going to be less inclined to call you because they're going to be like, wow, they're going to have to ask for repairs more often. And it's just, no, you want to really break it down, especially when it comes to the wellness plans that we're rolling out, and break it down into a numerical value. If you're just saying, hey, yeah, here's this set amount, right? Here, it's $600, and you get a 2-year warranty. I'll make sure all your things are protected, right? Then they're going to be thinking about that $600. But if you break it down to say, hey, no, that's $300 a year. What is that in a month? That's what, $25 a month. And you break that down to the days. That's what, less than $1 a day to make sure that the HVAC system or whatever is protected and you can sleep at night like a baby. Less than $1 a day. Instead of, if it breaks, then you're out $6,000, something like that. So breaking down those numerical things into smaller bits so they can more properly digest and say, hey, wow, this guy's making sense here. Actually, I don't want to spend $6,000 when something breaks, but I wouldn't mind just sleeping at night knowing that this is protected, or this service is guaranteed, or if something goes awry, then I know this person will be here no matter what. And approaching them in the most personable way. You want to be yourself, and more than that, you want to be somebody that these people want to remember, somebody that these people are going to call you by your first name and remember you, like, hey, it's good to see you again, as opposed to like, oh, this guy's here to do a job, no. I remember back in the day when I was in pest control, most of my clients knew me by my first name, and it was a regular occurrence for me to get Christmas and birthday presents. Those types of relationships, I still have people that will ask me, "Hey Charlie, how are you doing today? Just thinking about you." Those are the kind of connections you want to make. You don't want to approach these things as like a cut and dry, "Oh, I'm here to do the job." No, you want to go out of your way to build connections, to plant the seeds. Every action, every word, everything you do is a seed from the beginning, from the moment you contact these people to the end, right? It all builds an impression. So if right off the bat, if you're thinking about this and you're doing everything to really make a lasting impression on these people, as opposed to just like reaching out, being needy, being greedy, saying, "Hey, I'm here to do a job. I got a call. Are you guys interested?" No, you really want to go out of your way to introduce yourself, very characteristic manner. Reach out, say, "Hey, I'm really here to show you guys what I got, what I can do to earn your business," or really just feel the situation. But building those connections is very important. Being super charismatic as well. Following up constantly with these leads is a huge thing as well. If you get a lead, you don't want to be waiting, right? Which I already explained earlier, to get to these leads. You want to get to them right away. So you don't want to let the appointment setter or the cold email or the marketing campaign be the first contact in your head, even though that initially is. No, you want your voice to be the real count as the first contact. So as soon as you get these leads, you're reaching out now. Once you've talked to them, then you set them in a proper place. And now that's set in stone, right? And then you want to turn the phone call into an in-person meeting. So don't ever do estimates over the phone. You want to do estimates in person because that's how you build connections. I know that it's hard sometimes in the beginning. It's like, "Hey, I got to drive over here and I don't even know if I'm going to make some money." Well, if you drive over there, build a connection, really figure out what their problem is, instead of saying, "Hey, yeah, here's a number. I do this. Call me if you need it." Like, yeah, why would anyone remember that? But if you show up, "Hey, I'm Charlie," shake that hand, build that connection. "I'm here to actually, see what I can do to earn your business. Let me do this inspection and show you what I come up with. I'll walk you along as well." And presenting them with 3 solutions, not just, "Hey, here's this solution, here's this number." No, it's, "Okay, here's this initial solution that I could do to fix the problem. Here's this solution that I could do extra to ensure that it is more properly protected. And here's this wellness plan that basically says that these issues will always be taken care of. I'm, going to be a regular individual to come in service," and so forth, depending on the trade, and presenting the value. You break it down. So, it costs this much, but, it's this much over the months and it's this much a day. And for that amount, it's a worry free. You don't have to sleep, as opposed to if something goes awry, you're looking to spend this much money in one go. And if you can't come up with that money at that point, then a lot of the times, you're suffering. If it's HVAC, your AC isn't working. If it's electric, they don't have electricity. If it's plumbing, they're backed up. Just presenting multiple solutions, building characteristics, showing up in person, following up. So if they don't answer the first time, if you get a lead and you call and they don't pick up, you follow up an hour and 2 hours later. Okay, you didn't get it. Okay, the next day, triple, 3 in one day, 3 days in a row, right? And then you give it a week. But you don't want to let these things just go, "Okay, I called him, I didn't get an answer, I'm letting it go." No, you always want to be following up with these people. "Hey, I heard that you would be interested in this. Somebody so-and-so, just following up, wondering if I can reach out, see what I can do to earn your business, make sure you guys are protected." Very important, very important. Making sure that your presence is always known. "Hey, I'm here to help. I'm here to help," and give honest quotes, and do honest work. It goes such a long way. So you really want to look into other industries as well. Look into what they do in those situations and how they close, and see if you can adapt those things to yourself. It really does take a lot of looking inward, figuring out your comfort zone, a lot of repetitiveness, a lot of role playing to get through these conversations. But if you just go at it so cut and dry, scared of the world, it's gonna come back to haunt you. So you have to be ready. Get your sword, get your shield, go to battle, come out victorious. So yeah, I'll probably wrap it up at there for now. Just keep a lot of these critical things in mind. Reaching out immediately, showing up in person, turning phone calls into in-person meetings, turning those in-person meetings into hopefully somebody signing up for the wellness plan, which you don't need a signature for now. All they need to do is simply put their credit card on file through the Homefront app, and you're good to go. They're on the wellness plan. You have recurring payments. Boom. On to the next one. Don't forget, guys, every lead can be a 5-star Google review. Hey, would you mind giving me a 5-star review or a Google review? My boss gives me $10 for every review. And even though it's just an estimate, you could say something along the lines of, I showed up on time, I gave you an honest estimate, and I was kind and genuine, even if you decide to go elsewhere, or something along the lines of that. Can be turning these estimates into at least 5-star reviews, because that's a super important thing. Once you hit enough 5-star reviews, life gets so much easier. Just keep pushing. I believe in you, and yeah, we'll be in touch. So go get him, Tiger.